He was the first of 3 children growing up in Kenya, East Africa.
I have a younger brother and sister. We grew up in what you would consider lower middle class in Africa. Pretty modest family, raised in a small 2-bedroom apartment. And then as we grew up, that 2-bedroom apartment had a storage room that was converted into a bedroom for my brother and I.
The farmland he called home was perfect for growing tea. And as the crop grew and was harvested each season, the mind of Douglas Osindi grew as well.
My dad was very adamant about education and the importance of education. And as young kids, we didn't really take it seriously, but we did have to go to school. We did have to maintain good grades in order to get any sort of reward. So I applied to a university back home in Nairobi. And then I also had the opportunity to apply to a university here in the US. I got accepted to both universities. So I sat down with my dad, and I'd always trusted his advice, and to me, he was always right. He said, your best bet is to take the application to the US, which was to a university in Lynchburg, Virginia, called Liberty University, to study computer science. So that's how I ended up in the US.
Taking the advice of his father and knowing America is the land of opportunity, Douglas was on a mission. He knew to find the path of his true passion, the United States would be the best place to start.
I've always been a hands-on person. I have a mechanical aptitude. So when I graduated, I started leaning more towards the job that I was doing, which was a machine operator. So in 2010, I packed up and moved to Minnesota, the Midwest, because the little research that I did told me that this was the hub of manufacturing. So that's how I ended up in the cold tundra called Minnesota.
Douglas quickly learned the reliance of the CAM software being used was vital to all phases and facets of the manufacturing process. He was lucky in that awareness, as he was exposed to several different CAM software platforms. But one stood apart from all others. That software was Mastercam.
And as my curiosity about manufacturing and CNC machining developed, I started looking for resources outside of the job where I could learn more. I watched videos, I talked to other machinists, and I started taking classes. Started going to Hennepin Tech. They had a machine tool program. And I started taking classes there, learning the basics of machining, of modeling, and then I started learning about CAM software, which again was something new to me at the time. And that's how I got exposed to Mastercam. So I started researching Mastercam and different CAM softwares. There was others at the time, like Bobcat was another one that we used at the time. Gibbs was another one. I was more drawn towards Mastercam because of the user interface, and it seemed like, even for a novice programmer like me, I didn't know anything about it. I felt like I could slowly learn on my own and start programming that way. So I started focusing more on Mastercam programming, taking courses at Hennepin Tech. And then while I was doing that, I found out that I could learn even more from the makers of Mastercam through ProtoTek, which had classes specifically designed for learning how to program in Mastercam. When I started Boston Scientific, who are a customer and a user of Mastercam, there was a project that had been a challenge for them for a while. And that was part of the reason they brought me in. They wanted an experienced machinist with milling experience to solve that problem. Without going into too much detail, I was able to solve that problem, and not only solve that problem, but also cut the cycle time by 50%.
He learned that the local Mastercam dealer who sold, supported, and offered customized in-person training was a company called ProtoTek.
In some instances, we had like a line down situation where if we don't get the machine running and we have a shift coming at 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock, I needed to get someone to help me get this program running before the next shift shows up. And every time I needed help, and when I reiterated that it was a quick response situation, ProtoTek came through and responded. So my education and experience as a machinist at Boston Scientific enabled me to rise to different levels. I ended up being the lead mill machinist in our department, and then I was also started going to school to get my bachelor's degree in manufacturing engineering technology. So all of the training that I had taken at ProtoTek not only helped me advance as a machinist to the highest level I could at Boston Scientific, but I was also able to take that experience and roll it into my manufacturing engineering program. And they took that experience as credit, paired with my time at Hennepin Tech, and then I was able to roll into a 4-year program. So upon graduation from St. Cloud State, I obtained a bachelor's degree in manufacturing engineering technology, and I was able to move from a machinist role into a manufacturing engineer role, where I was for 2 years at Boston Scientific. And then I left Boston Scientific in 2022 and then moved into a same role but at a different company, which is Graco, where I am today.
Now, with the knowledge Douglas has built, the education and training he's accomplished, and the understanding that his Mastercam, supported and trained by ProtoTek, will remain steadfast by his side all the way forward.